As the elders of the Hessekwa Khoi-San and other guests congregate in a former church, folk artist David Kramer sings a ballad he was moved to write 40 years ago. Dressed with flowers, a coffin dominates the gathering. In it is the skull of Koos Sas. It is all that remains of a man whose story has become legend.
I'm happy, and I think the healing is starting today, because after all the presentations we had, it's really a healing, and I could feel sense there was some bitterness, quite bitterness, but I can sense there's healing coming.
Sas was known in Montagu and surrounds for stealing sheep. But in 1917, he was accused of the murder of Boetjie Botha. En route to Worcester for the trial, Sas managed to escape. Evading the law for 5 years, he was shot and killed in Springbok, more than 600 kilometers from Montagu. His skull eventually found its way back to this former church, now a museum. In a macabre act, perpetuated in museums throughout the world for centuries, the remains were on display, alongside the weapon that caused his death. One of the elders that led the call for dignity in the way Sas's remains were handled says it represents the oppression that First Peoples suffered for centuries.
Well, when people see what is happening today and they hear, I think it will help a lot for our people. They'll again feel now we are being recognized, and this whole happening today is definitely helping our people to see we are going somewhere so that we can all live in peace and harmony with each other.
As part of a program to return remains from museums, the Western Cape Department of Cultural Affairs says more such events are to come.
For the department and for me as well is to rectify the mistakes of the past so that it never ever happens again. And then it is important for us to dignify our communities, and that is why we start with this reburial program, so that never ever any human remains must stay in a museum.
Sas will finally be laid to rest in April, 99 years after his death. Hessekwa Khoi-San, SABC News, Montagu.